egotistical, so unpredictable, here on the SNL Network.
Yes, that is right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SNL Network's Hot Take Show for the Jerrod Carmichael and Gunna episode of Saturday Night Live. I'm so pumped to be back talking SNL right after the show airs. The Hot Take shows are always where we have so much fun. No matter what you thought of the episode, you know it's going to be spicy here at the SNL Network. So we brought a great panel together. Hopefully, we can keep you all entertained. And I look forward to seeing what's going to be happening over the next hour plus. So joining us, as he has throughout the entire season, is the great Andrew Dick from That Week in SNL. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well. This is the one episode I feel like I weaseled my way the most into, because when the initial blast of the three hosts happening for this block, I thought this episode had the most potential to be intriguing, and Justin Gardner's already like, no.
Focus on the show.
No, sorry. Sorry. So I thought this would be the most intriguing episode, and in many ways it was. In other ways it wasn't.
Okay, so hold your hot takes, because I want to introduce everybody, and then we're going to get to all the hot takes.
But just glad to be here, TJ and Amanda. I've never met before, but just ready to go.
Okay, all right. Okay, looking forward to hearing your takes. Amanda, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
John. Happy Saturday.
Girl, it is Sunday.
TJ, don't start with me. It is too early in the morning for you to start with me already. Okay. Anyway, John, I love you. I just want to say I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for having me on this incredible, momentous episode. I will be adding my mother's commentary because she couldn't help but give me all of her issue. But also, I have to introduce the fifth host of this episode.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes!
How did I become the Colin Jost of this podcast? That's what I want to know. When did this happen?
Have you seen your hair? Like, what are you talking about?
Have you seen your face?
I never bought a fairy. That never happened.
Also, for the listener, Amanda is holding up a literal red flag that is adorned with ribbons that says "Cancel Jon Schneider." And I'm a proud supporter of that movement as well.
Truly, by the way,
truly wonderful.
The co-founder, the CEO, and head curator of the hashtag Jon Schneider hashtag. It's just, I had to make sure that our people were represented. And if you want to, John, we can auction this off for $0.
Hey,
I will buy that.
Andrew Dick will buy that.
I will bid on that, no doubt.
It also has glitter glue on it, listeners.
I love that you sent me a video.
Wait, can I panel?
No, John, this is not your show anymore.
This is the Amanda Mitchell Network now.
Yeah, it's
hold on now. Sorry, TJ is right here.
Wait, TJ, you've been talking and nobody knows who you are. So
no
let me introduce TJ Randolph to the podcast. You've heard him speak already out of turn. So TJ, in turn, welcome to the show.
John. I'm a little stressed actually to be here. You see, because in front of me, I have my to-do list. All right.
Oh no, is it a red flag?
And for the viewer, you'll see that on my to-do list it says to take vitamins, shake ass, and cancel Jon Schneider. I've gotten two of these three things done today, and I'm here to take care of the third. All right, you're done. You got that?
Yes.
It's history for you, Schneider.
Yeah, so when we were doing the bookings for these three episodes, I was talking to our wonderful intern, Hallie, and she said, when do you want Amanda and TJ on for this run of episodes? And I said, you know what, let's just, throw Andrew Dick, get Amanda, get TJ, get them at the beginning. Let's get them out of the way so we can talk SNL for the rest of the run. So, yes, anyways, if you're missing some of the behind the scenes of what's happening over here and a little bit confused, go back, check out our Zoe Kravitz rundown, our roundtable that we did for the last episode. We had a lot of fun with that, but let's talk Saturday Night Live, because that's what the people are here for. That's what they're staying up late for, to talk SNL. So let's do that. And okay, let's do it. Andrew, you were going to say before what your hot take was of the night. So Andrew, please explain.
Oh, son of a gun. What did I say? Not great. It's my reaction to this. I thought, and I saw it, at least through Twitter, a lot of people kind of airing the idea, the hopes that SNL would not go too hard into the slap because it would be a week later. My God, we'd already be done. And in typical SNL fashion, we doubled down even harder than you ever thought. And wow, boof to a lot of that material. And also, oh, I'm gone. Am I gone? Am I still
here? No,
here?
you're here. No, we're good. We got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
just not thrilled with this. But as I said, I jumped into this episode. I texted you because I thought this would be the most intriguing episode of the bunch. Just because, I don't, I've heard of Jerrod Carmichael. I'd heard of his show. I didn't watch it because I cut the cable over a decade ago. It wasn't a choice. I don't have television anymore. But I'd heard positive reaction to him. And so I thought, okay, here is an opportunity for SNL to introduce to me a stand-up that I don't know much about. And I basically stayed away from watching any material of his because I thought that would be an interesting way. All right, let's see what SNL does with introducing Jerrod to me. And I did love the monologue. But, beyond that, I can't say they really used his voice to the fullest potential that they could. And that is my hot take.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I mean, talking about whether we should have leaned into the slap or not is definitely going to be a topic of conversation we're going to talk about all week long. So before we get into my hot takes on the episode, Amanda, over to you.
I love Jerrod Carmichael. I really do. I watched the Carmichael show when it was on TV because I watched.
You're that person. Okay. Oh no, I was asking. You're the person that watched the. You're the person that watched. Okay. I didn't know anyone who watched the Carmichael show.
For you, John. Yeah. I'm not running defense.
All right, go ahead.
No, we want to tussle. No, John, I appreciate you. I am that person. You're not wrong. I'm just saying. Anyway, and I felt like this episode, I went in being like, the hopes are going to be high, the estimation's going to be good, the opinions are going to be hot, and I thought the first half was fine. In the second half, I was like, where are the jokes? Where's the jokes, America? Where's the humor? And I don't know. I feel like it just didn't live up to all of the things. And I think this is kind of sometimes my issue when non-SNL stand-ups host SNL, because SNL stand-ups, they just give them 15 minutes in the monologue to go off and do their own thing. But in this case, it was like, oh, where's the jokes? Where's the funny? Because I think he's just also a natural comedian, natural stand-up. That's his gig. It's not doing bits and gigs and gags and prop comedy. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay. All right, TJ, let's get your hot take for the night.
Okay, first of all, can we make sure we pronounce the man's name correctly? It's Jerrod.
I said it. My brain is not working.
Okay,
No. You said Jerrod. Both of you did. Let's treat the black man's name with respect. It's
Cancel
Jerrod,
Andrew Dick.
Also, John, I don't like that you have the two white panelists on top of the black panelists. Don't know how to feel about that,
all right.
too.
All you have to do is ask. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay. But my hot take for the episode
Stop
is
keeping me down, TJ.
My hot take for the episode is all right, I always really appreciate a melanin heavy episode. So I'd seen the Carmichael show because I like David Landon Greer. I like Tiffany Haddish. I saw it when it aired because yeah, they had David Allen Greer is just fantastic in Living Color. He hosted the show a few times in the 90s. But that show, the reason it worked is because it was a multicam and a sitcom that they kind of let him do whatever he want with the writing. So they kind of the stories were much more dense than an episode of Full House. So knowing that Jerrod had that type of take, I was like, okay, I know he's also a writer. He has a good point of view. I love a black host. I'm really intrigued to see what he could do here. I hadn't seen his stand-up, so I actually, a few hours before the show, I did watch his new special, Rothaniel. Really enjoyed it. And so I was like, this could be very interesting. He has a lot of perspective to bring. And I saw, with the exception of the monologue, I saw not a single shred of that in this episode.
Yeah.
This episode, I did not watch an episode of Jerrod Carmichael hosting SNL. I watched an episode of SNL. It was basically like when I watched those edited versions on VH1 and they kind of edited down. The mid booking of Gunna aside, like the episode was like there wasn't, I think for me, the monologue might have been the strongest piece, and maybe Che and Jost's jokes. But like this might have been one of the least fun episodes for me. Not bad. I don't want to say it's bad, but it was. It was not. I did not get like a surge of like high energy with this one. With the man that I knew going into this.
For sure. I mean, look, I like to be positive about a lot of SNL things. I mean, I love the show, so I will also be fair and say that I was expecting more from tonight. I really was like hoping that we would get a lot more, definitely in terms of the energy, the pacing, some of the sketches that were cut. I mean, we're going to talk about that, some of the decisions that were made. I think there was some really interesting production decisions that happened in the show, so stay tuned for that as we get into some of these sketches. I'll talk about some of the production decisions that went in and stuff that I found out that was happening throughout the day with this particular show. But for me, my hot take was, again, Andrew Dick brought it up. I mean, the storyline of the week was, how is SNL going to cover the slap? It's been 5 days. We were, trying to figure out, every single late night show, every single person in the world has had an opinion about this. How were they going to talk about it? How were they going to do it? And were they going to do it well? And we'll get to that sketch. But in my opinion, I actually really loved the way SNL covered it tonight. I think Chris Redd is just having a fantastic season. I really loved what he did. I love the way that Colin and Michael did what they did on Weekend Update. So I just think overall, that was to me the most enjoyable part of this entire thing, was the way that they covered that.
I don't think the panel agrees with you already.
That's fine, but we can debate it.
I'm laughing at John. I'm laughing at Andrew's reaction.
But I actually think that I enjoyed that. I think all the other parts tonight were a little bit more of a miss, but I'd like to dive into it. So on the Hot Take Show, if it's your first time joining us, put your comments into the chat. We will bring them up as we go through everything tonight. And let's start with our cold open. Now, let me preface with what happened with the cold open today, as to my understanding. Okay, so panel, can you listen to this? Just behave for a couple minutes. Let's just talk about the production of the cold open. So as my understanding is that the cold open, Fox and Friends, was originally intended to be the cold open. At some point along the way, SNL decided to switch the cold open for the Oscar sketch to do with the slap one, the seat filler sketch. That was made the cold open. Okay. I had heard about this in the original dress rundown. That was going to be the cold open.
Yeah. I felt that way.
Yeah. Around 5 or 6 o'clock today, they decided to swap it back. Now, I don't know what the reason for that is. I don't know why, obviously Fox and Friends sort of felt like your typical cold open, something that you would see a lot in this season or last season or seasons past.
See, I feel like Fox and Friends isn't a cold open thing. Traditionally.
All right, so let's jump off there because we could talk more about this. So Andrew, do you want to start with your opinion on the cold open tonight?
Okay. Well, I'd actually forgotten that I think there was a, beyond what we traditionally know to be these Fox and Friends sketches with Taryn, Vanessa, and Bobby Moynihan, that there was at least one, maybe even two, I don't remember, where they did recast it. I think Beck was also part of it. And it was like, oh, no, you can't really do this with an entirely different cast. And so that's and I did enjoy those original form of the sketches. And so first of all, like, just seeing this come up again, it made me reconfigure of like, oh crap, we did see this like 2-3 years ago with this reconfigured cast, sans Beck at this point. And it's another one where like you can just go through the litany of episodes I've been on here, hot takes, where just my whole take is cripes. It's so long. Can we please not edit these down to the bare bones? And so I thought first 3, 4, 5 minutes, solid enough, not great, whatever. But then we got into Janine Pirro, and then we got into the Trump stuff again, and we had our first shot down the bow was Donald Trump commenting about the slap. I was like, this ain't it. They don't have it. They don't have the take already. Okay. So I can't read the chat. Sorry.
No, don't read the chat. No, focus on the show. But that's interesting for me because I look, there's a lot of things here that I sort of don't get, and my take on this, guys, has been that I sort of feel that every single time they bring out JJ as Trump, and I know people are tired of the Trump impressions on SNL in general, but I just find the impression is so good and there is so much to milk here. I sort of don't understand why they don't make that more of the focus and take away some of the other things. And maybe people have some takes and they're like, oh, why throw that on top of everything else?
I feel the complete reverse.
I know. I get that. But like, I understand both perspectives. I just think for me, I would have rather them just done more Trump and less other stuff, as opposed to what you're saying. But yeah, I would have. I really would have rather JJ, because I just think that. Okay, go ahead, TJ. Tell me your opinion. Yeah.
I'm sorry, John. You can. Sorry.
No. I want to hear. I want to hear your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on Cold. Yeah, go ahead.
You want more, bro? We had 4 years.
No, not in general, TJ. Not in general. I'm talking about in this particular sketch. In the context of this sketch, if they're going to do this
sketch,
I'm sorry.
Why wait 5 or 6 minutes to bring him out? That's what I don't understand, TJ. Why not just bring him out right away? Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. Why package all? It's like 4 or 5 different bits together that they're sandwiching into kind of a messy cold open. Okay. I see what you mean. The sketch should have ended when Cecily popped the beer can or shotgun. Is that the term? The minute Cecily shotgun the beer can, would you hit 4 or 5 minute count? Boom, end it. Let's get into the show. I'm not saying there's anything great because God knows the political cold opens bore the life out of me. I would kill for I don't know, what is the 2018 R. Kelly cold open or Oscar, something different, like Jesus Christ. Or like even, the old like Bobby, Taryn and Vanessa Fox and Friends, like that was like some like really high tier stuff. But we didn't
even get any corrections. That was usually a.
But I don't know that they did those in a few years ago when you referenced that sketch that they did.
I don't think they
did that. But
yeah, and they lost that.
I think Beck I think when Beck did the Fox and Friends, I think it went pretty okay too. But that aside, I've said this ish before. I've been actually doing the SNL Network for almost a year, coming up in May. So I don't need to repeat myself, but like. The Trump, like we had 4 years of this man. The only reason I still see Trump is because of SNL.
SNL, yes.
I watch SNL. Like you are literally giving him the publicity. I don't know what the heck the Truth Social is. I only know about it because of SNL. So for me, it is the same thing of you are stuffing this same dude in front of my face. Now, granted, it is what it is. You're the writer. You can choose to do it. I can turn off the show. I don't have to watch it. But it seems like, what are you really mining that you didn't do again for 4 years when this ninja was the president?
Okay, but that's fine. But then keep that same energy when JJ comes out for the first time as Donald Trump, and everyone's going absolutely nuts at the beginning of the season because the impression.
I had that same energy, John.
Okay, good. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe you did, but I don't think that everybody did. Yeah,
8 iterations down the line.
It's been what, 6 appearances of him as Trump? 5. I know it's been around 5 or 6 appearances of JJ as Trump. It's too much. Like here's the thing. I can't get into how great of an impressionist JJ is when he does Biden and when he does Trump, because I've seen it so much before that just because another white man who's a fantastic impressionist is doing it, it does not outweigh that the ninja that he's impersonating is mid. Sorry, Trump isn't mid, he's trash. Like it doesn't like work, but like I don't want to like harp on it. It's just
okay, yeah, that's fine. I want to get Amanda's opinion because
let's get it right.
Yeah, Amanda, come in.
I mean, I don't actually disagree with any of these opinions because I 100%, as soon as TJ said, like I don't hear any Trump news coverage, anything, and if I do, I felt like there were so many missed and lost opportunities here for jokes about Trump that didn't have to relate to getting his commentary on the slap. You know what I mean? Like that, I felt like that was like, it was just like really, and I mean, I'm evidentially, there's evidence on this podcast me yelling about getting mad when the show goes for low-hanging fruit. Like, I really hate that. Like, there's so much other coverage and so much other things to talk about. And that's what you decide to spend. I mean, John, you'll get by the numbers, by the minutes at the later of the week. You can tell me how many minutes of coverage this week was spent on Will Smith, Chris Rock, and the Oscars. And,
yeah, Mike Murray,
I think
if you're listening, get on that.
More. I would estimate 20 minutes easily.
Okay.
And of a 75-minute show, that's a whole big lot of time to spend on nothing. Kate McKinnon was in this sketch.
Yeah.
Y'all forgot that. Like it's like, because they didn't need her. They didn't need they could have cut so many different little
who
bits.
Did Kate play?
Kate played Ginny Thomas.
The smiling lady.
Played Clarence
Thomas's
wife.
Oh, that's right, with Keenan.
That's his real wife?
That's his real wife. Yeah.
Completely already memory hold that whole thing.
And there's so much mine of coverage that they could have gone with there. They just said they're and so
but I'm fine with them picking a lane, Amanda. I agree with you. If they want to go down that path, then that's fine.
Do
with
it.
me. I'm
commit to it. If you're going to do a bloated sketch, if you're going to bloat a sketch, and you are going to again bring back all of these legacy cast members that we haven't seen for 75% of the season, because that's what it really feels like. It's like, oh, we got Kate. We got to put Kate in everything this episode. Like, I felt like this was bloated. It was too long, and now I'm wondering who was supposed to be Jerrod. Thank you.
Jerrod.
My mouth wants to put an R in that last syllable. I can't explain it. My mouth just does it. I don't do it.
Just
my
don't.
Brain,
my brain.
French.
All people.
My
on
brain
this
is saying it different.
Have no excuse, just like I do, to mispronounce his
Mr.
name.
Carmichael.
I just sort of
Daddy Carmichael. Where was
this? Summarize this question.
I'm sorry. If this was supposed to be swapped, who was that character in the cold open version? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. And look, it's not impossible for a host to appear in the cold open. Sudeikis did earlier this season. I mean, I think things can happen. But look, I would like to wrap up this discussion by saying that I actually agree with the panel. I think that you did some convincing of what my original perspective was, but I'm not saying that they can't just drop the Trump stuff and go in a different direction. I actually think I'm totally okay with that. But I sort of find that it's like, hey, Dana Carvey does George H.W. Bush 95 times. Hammond does Clinton a million times, whatever it is. It's like SNL has done this for so many times. They have a new cast member who comes in.
President at the time.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, it's the same conversation when JJ does Biden now. It's really the same. It's the same thing. I see it every single week. I see it in the chat 3 times a week. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, again, a Biden impression. It's like, this is what SNL does. They have a new guy who came on who is amazing. Like, this guy is an amazing impressionist.
No one's disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm not yelling at you guys. I'm just talking a lot, but I'm saying, like,
stop yelling at me then.
Yeah, he's so freaking talented. So I want to give him some credit. Now we can argue SNL's decisions with the directions they went with the sketch, but
we just did.
But I don't think that the answer is to just never have JJ do a Trump impression again. I think that's my
That's
not
what I'm saying. The man is a Swiss Army knife of impressions. You can literally have him do, like, I don't like, even though politics stuff bores me, I don't think it's bad that JJ does Biden, because you do need a presidential impression. That's actually fine. You do not need a Trump impression. I'll even say this. I'll even give you, bring it out twice a season. That's 21 episodes, fine, twice a season. But we've hit a max. That airtime could have gone to Aristotle, justice for Aristotle, by the way. Like, that could have gone to, like, anyone else, not the impression, the time that was lost. Like, I swear to God, if we lost an Angelo impression because of some shenanigans in this episode.
Oh, you just wait. You just wait.
Like,
we did lose.
I swear,
my
mama. Like,
yes.
No.
All right. Good time to talk about this. Sorry, Monette, close your ears.
No.
Yes,
I'm here to fight for Monette. All right.
Yes. There was going to be a sketch called Angelo Wedding in the episode.
Are you kidding me?
No, they cut him twice. They cut a second Angelo sketch.
We don't know if we get it uploaded, though. It could be uploaded.
We did hopefully that's uploaded. uploaded, Tucker PDD come back to write Angelo wedding. I was told from Ellis, one of our interns who was at dress rehearsal tonight, that this Angelo was the best Angelo. So I'm hoping that we do see it in some area. Not sure there's much more to say about that, but let's give Jerrod Carmichael his due and let's talk about.
I know you have nothing to do with this, but I have to waive it because you shared that information.
John, you didn't do anything wrong, but I am holding up this no in protest to the fact that Aristotle has been disrespected. All right, they're gonna be at 5 episodes left, so they can still, he can still be the comeback king. But like,
shake it up, SNL. Shake it up.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't need to see a 6th Trump impression when I could have gotten a 3rd Angelo. Baby.
Well, I agree with that,
man.
Yes, for sure.
Honestly,
I agree. Come on,
it's just not fair that a man that looks like that isn't getting the airtime. That's what I gotta say.
Like really, like real talk. You think I want to see that? Like, no, actually, I got nothing against JJ anymore. Like, I've definitely warmed to him. But,
all right, let's not do this now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about Jerrod Carmichael's monologue. So obviously his HBO special, Rothaniel, got released yesterday. So this was a pretty big deal. And he talked a lot about his experiences, his personal life, his coming out story, which certainly obviously was fairly newsworthy and powerful to hear all of his personal talk and through his stand-up that he did. But, the big question was the stand-up special going to be very similar to what we ended up seeing tonight? And it was interesting to see him get past the stand-up mic. And the conversation ended up being a lot about Lorne Michaels coming to his dressing room and talking about the nation needing to heal. I will say, panel, personally, I love this monologue. I was like, we're in store for something good if he could do what he's doing here. So I really enjoyed this, and I would love to hear your opinions as well as the chat. So TJ, can I start with you on this one?
Absolutely. I need to watch this again, which I never will. But like I would need to like watch. I mean, come on now, like come on, let's keep it real. But I would need to watch this again. But I think for me, the monologue was the strongest piece, and I had just watched that Rothaniel special like at like 8:00. And it is very different. Like the first one is like very, because it's directed by Bo Burnham, so it's definitely very intimate and there's like a lot of close-ups. So the way that it's directed and Jerrod is being very personal, there is a lot of silence, which Jerrod does in this monologue a little bit because it's live TV, it's a different stage, and he's standing. Like in the special, he's sitting. But like since he's like standing, he is far more energetic in this monologue than he is in the stand-up special. So it is different. Like he mentions like the coming out, but like the story is much more built out in the stand-up special. So I did appreciate getting a chance to kind of see a little bit of like, oh, like he's performing very differently for this stage, which is obviously should have elevated him like greatly. I thought his monologue was great. I love that he said he wasn't going to talk about it and talked about it for 3 minutes. That was pretty fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like hey Barack, like hey man, like the country needs to heal, bro. Like where are you? I don't know. Yeah. I like the monologue a lot. I love it personally. A stand-up monologue is my favorite type because I'm a big comedy nerd. So anytime I see them give them the mic, which damn well they do not need that mic, but I love that they give every stand-up the mic. I kick back and I'm like, I'm just ready for it. I
actually get like I get like really like almost like when you're like at an I guess like at a football game and they play music and then like people get pumped up and they're like running out of the tunnel and stuff. Like when they throw a stand-up a mic at SNL, I get like really pumped up for that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I get excited.
I was about to hold up my sign. But yeah, like, yes, yeah, I agree.
I'm agreeing with you, TJ. Yeah.
I know. I don't know what being at a football game is like. But
yeah, I feel like it gets you pumped up.
No one knows this. I know.
Yes.
Sports again, John.
Other kinds of flags, yes.
The other side, not the.
Thanks, Amanda. All right, Amanda, let me.
You're on. You're good. You're on, John.
Okay,
you're on it.
Got it. Thank you. I did it. Amanda, what were your thoughts on the monologue?
I loved it. This was my favorite monologue. Other than Jason Sudeikis's, I loved Kieran Culkin's. I love the nostalgia and the beautiful emotion behind that, but like this is my favorite of the season. I think that this was so good because I absolutely believe that Lorne Michaels went to his dressing room and said, you have to heal the nation. You have to take, this is your time. You have to, because I have had bosses do that to me and I say, why me? And I usually say, well, what are you talking about? What do I have to, what happened? Keep me in the know. And so I loved that. there were so many moments. I mean, the talk about New York being gay positive, just everything about this just felt very stand-up-y, but in the way where he was like, I have 5 to 7 minutes to introduce myself to the world. I really loved the joke where he said, like, I am the least famous person to host SNL, which I actually don't,
which is not true, by the way.
It's not true, because absolutely it's not true. And like, I don't even think he's the least famous person to host this season.
I think he is.
But I would say up until a few weeks ago, before Ariana won her Oscar, I would have said,
fair.
I would have made the testament that she was probably the least famous.
Yeah,
but,
and I just want to say for Roller Coaster Rider in chat, yeah, I did write this in my notes as well. Miskel Spillman from looking down on us says, what about me? But yes, I agree, Amanda, and yeah, Andrew, can you please heal the nation and tell us what your thoughts were on this monologue?
Well, I mean, in terms of
go
ahead.
What? All right, I got this.
You got it.
Yeah, this should have been the final word.
Okay.
Should this not have been the final word on the slap?
Oh, you're saying, okay, the show should have been over after this, yeah.
Yes! You just cut and run credits after the monologue, it's over. No, I thought this was a great monologue. Again, coming in fairly new to Jerrod. This completely won me over, and it all felt new because it was all about what happened that week. So that was nice to like really feel like, oh, this is all new material from him. And I really loved the whole what really got me on board was the line about how long ago it felt, and that it was somewhere between Jamiroquai and 9/11 really killed me.
That was great. Yeah.
It's a great line. It's a great line.
It was a great line. And I felt like I was completely won over from there. And I felt for the episode itself, that was it. That was the end. That was all they needed to do in terms of talking about that. So overall, I felt like the monologue itself, at the point that it happened in the episode, I was like, there you go. You did it. You covered it. It was good. I'm on board. And here we go with the episode. So at that point, feeling pretty strongly about it.
Yeah, I am with you. All right, let's transition to our first sketch after the monologue, which is the post-COVID game show, Is My Brain Okay? This one is hosted by Kate McKinnon, and we have Jerrod Carmichael and Jerrod Carmichael, Sarah Sherman, and Bowen Yang as contestants. Chris Redd also comes out in this sketch, as well as Derek number 2. Okay, Amanda, can I start with you on this one? Can you let me know what your thoughts are on Is My Brain Okay?
Well, to answer the question of the title, my personally, my brain is not okay. So that's in case you guys were wondering. I mean, I enjoyed this on a format level. I was like, I love a game show sketch. I thought it was funny. I thought it was weird. I thought the jokes were good. I really don't have that much to say because it just kind of was like there. like I enjoyed it. I remember laughing about it, but I remember feeling like this could have fit in at any point in any season. It didn't feel particularly topical in or unique. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you understand. Like I feel like it just felt like very last season, or like even this could have been like a mid 2020 or like a season premiere in 2021 kind of sketch. Just didn't feel very unique. But I felt like we haven't seen enough Bowen in 2022 in these episodes for me. So I'm always glad to see him get his little moment, So yeah.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this?
Of the sketches for the night, I would say this was probably the strongest, which is slightly damning in a way, because the last episode we did with Zoe Kravitz, we had another game show in there. Game shows for SNL, what just we go to the well too much. But overall, I felt this one got over in terms of the details delivered in the writing, and overall the performances as well. I think Jerrod and Jerrod. and Sarah and Bowen all sold their roles well. And so, overall, like I felt, again, cold open, bleh, but I'm expecting that at this point. But monologue into first sketch, I'm feeling pretty good so far. Of like, okay, we're not really cooking at a high temperature, but like we're doing all right so far. So strangely, looking back, this was probably the high point of the live sketches, I think, for me, which, is pretty damning overall. But I mean, I think it was solid game show, like SNL game show work generally.
Okay. This was also a Colin Jost and Allison Gates written sketch. So just I wanted to note that. TJ, what were your thoughts on the post-COVID game show?
Man, didn't we do this sketch already? Like real talk. Like I could have sworn we did this exact sketch, but instead Kate McKinnon was literally playing Kate McKinnon. Or didn't we do something like this with Jessica Chastain? Like,
yeah, I mean, I saw somebody in the chat, TJ, say reference. Sorry if I missed who said this.
No,
said about we notice, which in a way I could sort of see like, hey, Kate has kind of had this vibe in the last like little bit, maybe like year plus, where she's kind of just like been very meta in terms of her thoughts and feelings on like her and her existence and like, is my brain okay? So like I could see this coming from her mind a little bit.
Yeah, she wasn't playing a character. The only thing about this character was that I don't think Kate McKinnon would realistically wear a pink suit in her day-to-day. I'm pretty sure it would just be a simple blazer, a tee, and some jeans or something. Granted, she did look great. Like one of my homegirls has a crush on Kate McKinnon is probably gonna love this look. But like all that aside, like if I hear more, like I'm sorry, like I went through the pandemic too. I'm kind of sick of the whole like privilege, like, all right, like, is my brain okay? Like, yeah, I had my own issues to deal with too, just like everyone else. But like, I don't know, man. It was too dumb. It was too dumb of like a take of like you don't know what a wheelbarrow is. I don't know.
Well,
like,
yeah. I sort of agree. See, here's the problem. Here's my problem with the sketch, which is like, and I did overall enjoy this, but I felt like it was going down two contradicting lanes. There was these people are so dumb that clearly they don't have brains, but also COVID has caused people trauma. And it was
that's true.
It was like those two ideas are contradictory for what you're supposed to take as an emotional response to this sketch. Are you supposed to be feeling for the contestants because obviously they've gone through something? Or are you supposed to laugh at how stupid they are? And that's what I was struggling with.
No, it's just wacky line parade.
Right. So I was trying to understand the conceit for the sketch. And then I think that the part that worked the best, what works in this sketch is Sarah Sherman licking her thing, like licking her booth. That was amazing. That was the best part of this. And it was like that, if that was what was happening here, like these people are just so dumb, like what's wrong with this picture dumb, then maybe I think I would have been more on board than making this a COVID.
That's almost concept. Something I'm wondering if she threw in rehearsal. Like I'm wondering if that's something not even in the
I love that. Like that's amazing if she did.
That was a great detail.
Yeah.
So
honestly, like the thing that actually, I don't even say it worked. No, it worked because it got a laugh out of me. The thing that worked was the first half of this sketch for me was like, all right, so it's just Kate McKinnon. Why don't you just name the character Kate McKinnon? You could do this. Then the sketch kind of goes on. All right, I guess SNL is gonna have Sarah Sherman yell all the time. Like she does more than yell. Like come on, like she's not just a loud white girl. Like okay, and then the change up happens where I like the line of like, okay, like COVID trauma, how does it impact people? And you don't just do it to the contestants, you have the hosts. You have the host, like, all right, the minute that they made it like, all right, that like Kate herself also had something that she forgot. I was like, okay, but they didn't make a game out of that. It was just like a one-off. It wasn't like an escalation. That like I thought, okay, you have the contestants, now the host. I'm not really sure where you would go after that, honestly, but I thought for a second, like the minute they made the switch that it's not just the contestants that are being dumb, it's also the host. Everyone's been impacted by COVID. Okay, that's definitely a take. Like, where do you want to go with that?
Yeah.
And so the rest didn't really like land as well for me. Although the question, if you had to talk to a person, what's a good start, is a great question to make introverts think. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, that's again, but was the sketch trying to make people think or laugh? And I think that was confusing. So I think that's probably where I had taken a little bit of an issue with. Let's move on. Let's talk about short ass movies. So this was a Pete Davidson pre-tape. The only time we saw Pete in the evening. Obviously, there's been a photo that's been passed around this week where he was filming this with Simon Rex, most famously known for Scary Movies 3, 4, and 5. I think he was in What I Like About You. Talk
about these low tier movies. I mean, you know what? I like
movies
like
3, 4, and 5. I
watched this when I was like 15.
We bring you all the data here. So
I'm about to be insufferable about Simon Rex. Just let
oh
me
my
know.
God.
Get ready for me to hop on my high horse. Just get ready.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So short ass movies. Gunna's in this. Chris Redd's in this. James Austin Johnson is in this. About the one who's picking the movie. So Amanda, since you feel so passionate about this, please talk about it first.
This was my favorite of the night. Without question.
What?
Yeah, I know. Because this is my brand. I 100% am the girl who gets home. I'm like, if you put on anything that's longer than 45 minutes, I am not watching it. My brain cannot commit to anything right now. I can only commit to short, tiny bursts. I genuinely I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I thought it was stupid in the way that I love seeing Pete and Chris in a pre-tape. That's just that to me is ooh, that's my sweet spot. Ooh, that's baby. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was clever. I couldn't help it. And also, you can't put Simon Rex in anything and not have me be like, wow, you mean I loved What I Like About You. I love Dirt Nasty. I was a big fan of everything. I have seen his pornographic video, guys. That's how much I love Simon Rex. Just saying. I'm a child of the 90s. I watched him on MTV. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
there
you.
you
Thank
go.
you for clapping.
Okay. Got it. A lot of people are also recommending Red Rocket, which is not the name of his porno, right, Amanda?
But he does play a retired porn star in the movie.
Amanda, get the flag.
You know what?
Get the flag.
Yeah.
He made a pun.
This is a Red Rocket.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's. Who want? Yeah, Andrew, you want to go next?
Oh boy. I got nothing
Andrew,
for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tell me, how long is the right amount for a movie? What's the length of time? Yeah.
Oh Lord, I don't care. It's all up to the movie. This whole boy, this really feels like a sketch written by people that are too online. As am I, because I recognize
we're literally doing a podcast.
I know. TJ, please let me say. I was just about to say. I know. I see this. People arguing about film lengths, and I don't care. Much like the slap. In the end, I don't care. It's all nothing. And so this. Hey, check it out. Pete's got a rap song for you. I haven't seen one of these before. And it's all about, I want to watch shorter movies. And so here's a list of shorter movies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
I did enjoy, just up top.
Are people going to complain about long-ass podcasts?
John, do not interrupt me.
Okay, go ahead.
You interrupt people all the time, just like I do.
TJ,
I'm not upset. I'm not upset. Like I'm saying, this is a podcast literally of interrupters. This is the interrupting podcast.
Okay. I just want to say the one small detail I did enjoy about this is that up top, while switching through our very, very Netflix queue, I did notice that there was Black Dynamite, which is one of the funniest comedy films I've seen in the last 2 decades. And so Black Dynamite, Michael Jai White, love letter parody to blaxploitation.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was in there. And I was like, oh, hey, Black Dynamite. I love that film. And that was the highest point of the sketch for me. I'm done.
Okay. All right. TJ, is there such a thing as too long for a podcast?
No, because it depends on the listener.
Because this is going to be a while, people. Strap in.
No, it depends on the listener. If I don't know, people listen to Critical Role, but if you love D&D, it's a breeze. It's something to do while you're working. If people love SNL, I listen to the show usually at the top of my work days during the week. Or Hollywood Dish, or I listen to the Round Table on my Tuesday and my Thursday. No, my Friday usually. So what do you mean? Stop it. It's not a shock. I enjoy the show. Like I genuinely love doing this. Yeah, no, but like I think it really depends on the listener. So I think you can make a podcast 5 hours if you. I listen to the catchphrases 2.5 hours.
I mean, I was just asking just for the purposes of the conversation.
Asked the question. I thought it was a great question. All right, fair. Okay. So for this sketch, this is the same way I felt about the Gunna performances. Decent instrument. Actually, no, the Gunna performances had great instrumentals, but this had like the pre-tapes usually have like really good instrumentals. Chris Redd is always fantastic. Did not know he could dance like that. Really, I really appreciated his dance moves. They were pretty good. But the writing and the vocals were just not for me. I thought they were kind of mid. If I'm keeping it 100, keeping it a buck, buck 50.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree there's been better pre-tapes from Pete this season. So
much better.
Yeah, for sure. I like, look, I'm not a movie person. So for me, like, I just think that the length, like this spoke to me in terms of the concept. So I agree with Amanda, but I just don't know that the execution was
Can I add
amazing.
something to that? Oh, I'm sorry, John.
Of course. Yes. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kind of am on Amanda's like opinion when she like mentioned like something that's like a lot longer. For some reason my brain will think, okay, I can watch like a stand-up special or an episode of Succession, which is like still like an hour versus just that extra half hour, that extra the extra hour. Watching a movie feels like more like cumbersome, but I don't know why. Like then I watch 3 hours of TV the same amount of time as a film, but for some reason my brain will think like, oh, the TV is shorter, it's an easier to digest, I'm not sure why it is, but I do that too. Also, all right.
I won't watch The Irishman, but I will absolutely watch a 4-part Netflix documentary.
I agree with you. Yeah, but also when it comes with podcasts, you can listen on like 2x. So, but movies, watching a movie in 2x doesn't work. So I feel like that's the problem. Is like we're trying to consume so much content. So, but let's
working. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's explore this more on the roundtable later this week. Okay, Shop TV. Let's talk about this one. This was the Mikey Streeter and Rosebud Baker contributed to this Shop TV.
I love Rosebud so much.
So newer writer on the show. We had Dot, Cecily, and Rhett Mikey who are hosting this Shop TV show. We had Alex playing Thomas, who came out with the Jesus Lunchbox. Then we had Jerrod come out as the designer of the doll known as Riley, who had a rainbow bush, otherwise known as a vajafro. So let's talk about all the things that happened here. Amanda, do you want to start on this one?
John.
Fun.
This was what?
This was so much fun. This was one of the dumbest things I've ever watched in my entire life. First of all, at this point, I picked the moment to like run upstairs and grab something. And as soon as I heard my mom scream laugh, I ran. I was like, what did I miss? What's the humor? And then all I saw was a rainbow vajafro. And I just felt my body dissolve. Like I can't describe it. I felt like I was watching myself watch this. And I was like, I disassociated because it was so funny. Like I loved it. It was so good. This was, I wish more of the episode was like this, and I don't know how else to say it. I just wish they had more fun and let more opportunities thrive and gave a little more space to like let more fun things happen. I felt like a lot of this episode was a slog only because the content was just making humor of our dark.
Let's talk about this specific sketch though. So I agree.
But yes, but this sketch, I would say, I also love a QVC sketch, and I just think everyone was great, really. The voiceover, especially the calling in, it was just, I love this. Yeah. Also, I
think
QVC.
It took a long time to get there, but the payoff was really funny. Like I felt like the visuals of this, like Andrew, I was really excited to talk to you about this. I'm a little bit apprehensive now because you said earlier the previous sketch, live sketch was your favorite of the night, but I just felt like this wasn't something they do very often nowadays on SNL. And do you disagree with that? Because I really felt like the visual here, and like they really took it probably a step further than they take stuff on SNL in 2022. Just the whole visual of him like basically putting his hand up her ass. So I think that this got a little wild.
I mean, yeah, it did get a little wild. Boy, how to put this in words. I did think it was interesting to watch the lead up to the Vag Afro initially, because it did seem like, ooh, this is dying. That's interesting. Like I was almost intrigued by just like, this does not seem to be working with the audience. I'm now into it in a weird way of like what's going on here. And then we revealed that, which it didn't really hit for me. And then we messed about with that idea. I guess if you can enjoy Mikey Day trying to pop the the Vag Afro back into the panties there. But this is the type of thing where it is so dumb, it is so broad. It really needs to hit that proper mark for me. And it just didn't. It just felt too wacky town and kind of forced. Now again, Jerrod did provide great personification for his
yeah,
I'm killing TJ with every time, but he did again, great work for him across the board throughout the night. I really thought that he in this sketch he felt more he felt more dialed into a more lived in concept than the wacky town sketch writing that we got. And so overall it did not connect for me. And it felt kind of vaguely like the Anna Gasteyer Home Shopping Network Crazy Dolls that we would have in the 90s as well.
But that's what I'm saying. This is a little bit of a throwback. Like I think that
it very much is in a certain respect. So just overall it didn't connect for me.
Yeah, I just think some of the lines in this were just really like stellar and very like I said, further than SNL would go in most cases. I think like release the latch and pull the hair at the same time with the visual of the doll in doggy style, I think was very like something that I just like didn't expect to see from them, especially like pre-update. I think that's something that they would often leave as the 10-1. So if this was a 10-1, I could see this more as being part of the usual format of things. But this was pretty impressive, the fact that they put this closer up front. TJ, let me get your thoughts on it.
This is one of those sketches that like I forgot again that I was watching a network television show. I was like because I watch a lot of stuff streaming, so like this for me doesn't faze me. And I was like, oh my god, wait, this is on NBC. Okay, so Amanda kind of just like touched on like the visual stuff like is what works. So I'm not gonna like rehash that. Why is no one talking about how dope the lunchbox was of Jesus playing an Oculus? I mean, if that isn't a great visual gag, I don't know what is. Also, Ego literally saying, no, that is a 1970s rainbow bush. Her delivery, I could never do a well impression of that, but that delivery of when she just reiterates what is already clearly there, but just like layers it on, like really did make me laugh. When Mikey's, a couple of the quotes I did like from this. And it made me remember, like, oh yeah, there was like this in like one of this because I did enjoy. I didn't hate anything, but I was like, oh, I did like have fun with this. But it had such a slow start, and it was like
very slow
start. Like one of Jerrod's one of his like two that I thought were like actually 2 or 3 of his like really good sketch performances. It was one of the few that didn't make him feel like a cast member. This one made him feel like, oh, he's like the host.
I agree.
Also, there's something about Mikey saying he said that the doll is in
Doll's
college.
in college.
I mean that line that was rough.
Panel, do you guys I sort of feel SNL could actually sell this doll. Like I think SNL fans would buy this.
I mean, you saw they were flying off the shelves. Clearly, there was a lot of units ordered.
People would buy this. Yeah,
I think as many people would buy this as they would buy a canceled Jon Schneider on Etsy.com. But like, I just wanted, like, what would you do? You would come home and be like, Mom, I bought a doll with a rainbow merkin. Like,
she would never know.
It's an SNL reference.
Yeah, it'd be covered up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Also, I'm not keep forgetting. Any doll maker would know that it's simply
That's
just
true.
extra. It's just the regular. Yeah, it's just extra hair.
Of course.
That's my
no
foolishness. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Your mom would never know about the vajafro. So, all right, let's talk about.
I don't know if I can handle you specifically saying the word of vajafro. I don't.
So I just can't say anything anymore. Okay.
No.
Let's talk about seat fillers. This one was really interesting. Yes.
We're not even in update yet, and we're an hour in.
Okay.
We're never going to bed. We're never sleeping.
It's already 2:00. Oh my god.
Let's keep going. Okay. Let's talk about seat fillers. This was a Mike DiCenzo, Jake Nordwin, and Please Don't Destroy bit that they put together. Like I said, was at one point going to be the cold open. Okay. I sort of don't really, and I would love to hear why people didn't like this, because I felt like the perspective on this was kind of different than what I've seen so far about them talking about this. So I liked it. Okay, well, I will say my piece. I think this from the perspective of from the seat fillers perspective, I thought this was pretty funny. I think that Chris Rock's energy as Will Smith was really great. I mean, obviously, for whatever reason, you can't get Jay Farrow, you can't get Tim Meadows to do this one, but Chris Rock. Sorry, Chris Rock. Excuse me. I meant to say Chris Red. Yes. Chris. Yes, excuse me about that. Chris Red's up. Yeah, that would be wild.
Chris Rock, he really got into character there.
Chris Rock had good energy too on Sunday.
Yes, for sure. Excuse me. So Chris Red as Will Smith. I think Chris Red did like, it was really, really great in this. It was so short and so abbreviated for me that I was like, how could this have been the cold open? Like, I was trying to figure it out and like talk to people and just figure out the logistics, all this. It definitely was tightened up from what we saw. There was more stuff apparently in dress with Will Smith crying and things like that. So they tightened this up to his tightest parts. But I really genuinely very much enjoyed this. So TJ, can I start with you on this one? What were your thoughts on seat fillers?
Andrew, you're going to have to wait. Yes, I did like this, but I like this in the sense that I liked every single mother trucking TikTok and YouTube short that I've seen in the past 6 days. I have seen animations, hot takes, podcasts, roasts, article. Like we've had. It's also no, sorry. It's just we've had so much oversaturation of it. Granted, the videos I've seen are still funny. So I did select this. I had not yet seen a seat filler. I'd seen people do like POVs, like the POV, like you're Will Smith going up to Chris, like you're Will Smith, or like the POVs of Chris Rock. I'd seen like plenty, and so like this was one I hadn't seen, but it wasn't necessary. And I think the reason people are going to turn on this is not because of the sketch itself. If this happened Friday night, and then SNL did it. Like, yes, the news cycle will still pick it up, but it still would be hot. Jerrod said it himself. Like, if it had happened a couple of days after, I don't really blame SNL, because by the time, like, all the Jimmys and James and everyone else, everyone got to do their take. It's almost as if SNL doing it kind of just means, all right, it's done. Like, this is the end of the week. And I think it's just because of like, when it came out. So,
but that's not SNL's fault, right? Like SNL.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. It was like, it's because people like even us, our group would have been like, why didn't SNL talk about the slap? I think they would have done strong enough with just the update.
They already did.
They already
did, TJ.
I would have killed them if they didn't do something like this. But anyways,
wait. I have a question. So if there was not so they spent a good like 2 minutes of like roasts.
The whole monologue was about it.
The sketch wasn't. Yeah, but that's the hosts themselves. They make that choice.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different. Jerrod Carmichael wrote his monolag. Carmichael wrote his monologue. He
it's
comes
still
in
part of the show.
No, I understand that, but this is SNL's way to address
it.
Said,
haven't they told us many times the host decides what they do in their monologue? Bill Hader told us that, right? Like he said that I get to pick what I do in my monologue. And so then I think he went right into a sketch one of the times that he hosted. So Jerrod, yes, like he was forced to do it, but like, I mean, yes, Jerrod could have been forced to do it because he's like a first-time host, but he's still a stand-up. So,
Yeah. But okay, well, let's get Andrew in here because I just want to make sure that we get his opinion and get Amanda's as well. So Andrew, I know you're chomping at the bit. So go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. I mean, I felt like, again, we already did this. We are done. We are done with this. And so here we are 6 days later. What is SNL's sketch take on the situation? They add a straight man. to go, hey, what? And that's it. That is it. They've added a straight man to the situation. That's all. That's it. Nobody will care about this sketch ever. Done. I can't believe they did it. Now, if they did it in the cold open, with this length, 3-4 minutes. Oh boy, I don't even know. Then going into the monologue, I don't even know. But again, it's just like I did not need this amount of the slap material. And this sketch did not provide any new take that I have not heard. It was just simply add the sketch straight man.
Okay.
And it didn't even give Jerrod a clean enough, like, interesting take to do, with his character. He was just, again, simply straight man for sketch. So
let me bring Amanda in because I want to debate this, but I want her opinion as well. Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm actually going to offer in maybe not a different perspective, but like, here's what I think. We had 4 different bits of information on this topic in this episode. 4 separate versions. We had the monologue, we had weekend update, we had this sketch, and we had the bit in the cold open. And at that's what I mean about the 20 minutes we spent on this topic. It's like, really? Like you had, and then we have how long was the sketch? 3 minutes, maybe at the longest.
It was tight.
It felt short.
It was tight.
Really
it was and so to the point where I don't remember it, and it was such a blip where I was like, you cut other content and have the audacity to let the cold open run that long.
Angelo.
It's the combination of the two where I'm like, that's why it didn't work. It was like you did better versions of this joke in other bits of the episode.
And then you still have 10 minutes of the weekend update to go.
Yeah,
through.
and you still had more to come. And that's why I'm like, it's like, I get it. They need to do it in sketch form. I understand it. But also, this is not the last time we're going to be able to discuss this topic ever. Like, we have at least minimum 2 more weeks of this discourse going on. And it's only going to get worse. Trust me, guys, because I'm already tired of it. And I'm a Black woman in America who works in beauty.
But it's just insane. Like, there's no other bit of discourse that SNL has hit this hard as the slap.
Okay, but there's a reason for that, Andrew. And the reason is because things like this don't happen anymore because we are all watching a million different things all the time on streaming services, whatever it is. There is never a moment like this where you're everyone's watching the Oscars and this one thing happens and everybody is talking about it. And that's what fair. That's what SNL always did for years and years before the world got so dissimulated in terms of what they watched. And I feel that SNL had to take this opportunity. This is like ideal for SNL because they're like, oh wow, we could talk about something and everybody knows about it.
But did they make hay of it? Did they make 20 minutes of hay of it?
No.
Okay, but that's
so your problem is the oversaturation in the show.
Yes.
The show
absolutely.
Is not, okay, so
I knew they had to discuss it somewhere.
If you would have taken out 2 of the slap bits, like, are you saying all 4 could have worked, but maybe take out it? So it was the quantity rather than the quality for you guys. Is that what you're saying?
I was looking for simply. I was going to say monologue, update jokes. I did not need a sketch about it. And I definitely did not need 2 sketches.
Amanda, you think differently?
If we're gonna do 3 bits of content about it, I would have kept just cut all of it from the cold open.
Okay, but I can buy that. I can buy that.
Yeah, I mean, just move this to the cold open where it belonged, and we would have been fine. Honestly, moved this to the cold open, cut all the extra Trump content from the Fox and Friends, and leaving the weekend update. This would have been fine. And that's where they messed up. That's where
I could totally find
messed
that.
up.
That's fair.
And I had one more point that I forgot. Oh, I didn't like the fact that they just made Will Smith seem manic. Like it was Chris Redd was in my opinion, just such good impressions. But this just felt like very one note, very frantic, very.
He slapped a man in front of billions of people.
I mean,
and
I hear you.
Accepted an award afterwards.
I hear you.
It's weird, nonetheless. Manic, whatever it is, but it's weird.
But I'm not talking about Will Smith's behavior. I'm talking about Chris Redd here. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that I believe that his impression of this was one note and manic and frantic and didn't have any level of nuance. That's what
I would not put that at Chris's feet. I would say
I would not.
It's in the writing.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
allowed to.
Let's wrap up this discussion on this sketch because I think there's a lot more to dive into here. But I would say I did notice a comment from one of our podcasters, Bill Kenny, in the chat, and he mentioned this, which was, tonight after the show, I can certainly understand a lot of people's perspective. They've heard about this for weeks and stuff. I do think on a rewatch one day, if you do go back and watch this, it's like, oh yeah, that was the time when the slap happened. And I think that's some of the magic of SNL when you go and rewatch for so many years is you go back and you see something in context. And I think that
this will be great fodder for that week in SNL 20 years from now.
Don't complain.
On the night, on the night, it's exhausting.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about weekend update. So, obviously, Gunna music. TJ, do you want to say anything about Gunna just before we move on?
Gunna's the reason I think Gunna is mid is because he has fantastic production. He has a great team, great visuals, loved it. But the minute his vocals came in, Gunna makes music that's like fun for a good time, like at the club, but it's not like any like lasting stuff. Like I tried getting through his whole album, and so I was like, you know what? Let me at least try it because it was just the vocals I didn't have a great time with, and man, I don't know. I do know. Just like Gunna to me is so mid tier in terms of rappers out there. He's successful, and obviously, who am I? I'm the layman, but like.
Yeah,
there's no dense. There's nothing dense in his raps.
Originally, they had these two songs flipped. So the second song,
I was wondering why Push Him.
That makes sense.
They flipped it for
was like late or something.
No, I think it's probably the length of time. I think the second song was, or the song that we got second was so much shorter. So I think they felt that was probably better for the second half of the show. So I assume it was more of a logistics thing.
I was wondering.
Okay, we're gonna move on to weekend update.
Just TJ on that one. Okay.
Yeah, let's
do you have opinions on Gunna, Andrew? Have you listened to Gunna's album?
I just thought it was hilarious that Pushin' P lasted 30 seconds. Was that the shortest musical performance ever? It was all chorus, no verse.
Young Thugs? Do you remember Young Thugs at the?
Yes, but that did like seriously, was there no verse?
Remember Young Thug's performance? I think it was a minute 30, a minute 55. John, you probably had the time on that, but like.
But Pushin' P, was that just all chorus? Like seriously, did he come out and do the chorus and then go?
This is why I think Gunna is mid, because Pushin' P is a garbage song.
All right, let's not do music. Okay, let's move on.
We can't litigate this. We can't litigate this.
Pushin' P did TikTok for 2 minutes. That's how long his performance was. 2 minutes.
Yes. All right, let's move on to weekend update. Okay, so obviously a lot of talk about the slap to start here, so we're not going to relitigate the whole thing. But let's take weekend update as a package. I'll go to you guys, so we'll save some time here. Cecily also comes out as Marsha Blackburn. We have Keenan as OJ Simpson on weekend update, which is interesting because I've seen Keenan as OJ a bunch of times, but I didn't realize we actually haven't got Keenan as OJ Simpson on weekend update since 2007. So that was a long time ago since he's actually played OJ on update and done a piece like that. So would love to go through the panel and get everybody's opinions on weekend update as a whole tonight. Andrew, Dick, can I start with you?
I took a pee break at the beginning of this. A pushing pee. Yeah, I definitely pushed pee for a while, and then came back, and we were still talking about the slap, and I was like, "Holy Christ, what is going on?" And then Cecily came out as another Republican white woman, and it was all white noise for me. And then Keenan came out as OJ, and I was like, I can't even. It's all Carl Tart for me now as OJ. And so this whole thing it just missed me hard. Carl Tart on Comedy Bang Bang. TJ.
No, I know who Carl Tart is because he's on Grand Crew. He's very funny. I was wondering what he had to
his OJ is fantastic. So it is supplanted Keenan's for me. So sorry.
No, Carl Tart's great. I was just
yes, he
that.
is. Yeah.
Okay. So weekend update tonight. Thumbs up, thumbs down, Andrew.
Overall thumbs down, I gotta say. Just because again we were digging hard and coming up with nothing. Again, I missed a handful of jokes, and I think Che's last joke about the whole thing was the only joke, like the only thing I laughed at. But again, that was like seemingly the last joke after a 5-minute run on, again, the slap. Just so tired at that point.
Okay. TJ, thoughts on Weekend Update? Yeah.
Weekend Update for me would have, like, if I had to look at the slap content like out of context, I feel like for me that was probably my favorite slap content. Like just like the jokes, I've really appreciated seeing like what comedians have had to say and like their support of like Chris Rock. So for me, especially Che's like Instagram jokes. So for me, that was strong. The correspondent pieces I didn't have as much fun with, but that's because I heard about like OJ like tweeting. Also, what is with Keenan playing OJ and Bill Cosby and just what's he doing? Like we're gonna talk about this. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's an answer for that, TJ, but I don't think you're gonna like
it. Have they been doing anything recently? No, but like Andrew said it best when it was like Cecily playing that like same character. Don't get me wrong, Cecily is my favorite cast member and she's god tier to me, so she can do no wrong, honestly.
Okay. All right, let's head over to Amanda. Let's get her thoughts on Weekend Update. Yeah.
I was bored. I was bored. And by that point, I was just like, I get it. I mean, You guys know how I feel about those men. And also, like, I feel like the OJ Simpson thing, because like OJ waded into this discourse on Twitter, I feel like that was. Sometimes I get mad at this show for learning their lesson from Tina Fey as Sarah Palin and like protecting the people, because Sarah Palin literally told Tina Fey like that was the worst thing that ever happened to her, was like basically them using her actual words as dialogue on SNL. Sarah Palin literally claimed victim and was like, that's the meanest thing anyone's ever done to me, which is a lie. But like, I wish.
And that really killed satire on SNL.
Exactly. And that's what
that
like,
moment.
OJ gave you the content. It was already on the internet. You could have just taken those tweets verbatim and been like, this is hilarious. We cannot believe that this man had the gall to say this on the internet at this time, you know? And so that's what I mean. And, you know, I mean, I love Cecily. I'm here for her to do anything. But in general, I was like, okay, that was Weekend Update. Thumbs up. It's over. Right. Yeah, let's get on with the episode. So
yeah, okay, and I'm noticing chat here. I will not truck with any Colin Quinn slander. So no.
Got it.
Boo on you, chat.
I mean, they can still make the comments, man. There's literally nothing you can do to stop it.
Let's talk about Weekend Update. So for me,
let's not talk about Update.
No, I know. What I want to say, there's a couple things I really enjoyed here. Number one, and noteworthy, SNL talking about Kanye West. That's something that they avoided for an entire month. And the fact that they made a Kanye has a psoriasis joke in response to the Jada with alopecia thing. I thought that was very interesting. Obviously, Pete Davidson has talked about his wishes not for them not to address Kanye. So I thought that was certainly noteworthy for sure. Michael Che promoting that Michael Che for me on Weekend Update was very funny. That was really funny.
Are we going to do that? Like I've been thinking about that for a while. Yeah. Like I would love to do season 2 bonus coverage.
We'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
So when it comes, but obviously we talked about our opinions on the slap stuff. I mean, I definitely in its own, I definitely enjoyed what we saw here tonight. So that for me worked. Cecily, Keenan stuff was okay. All right, let's go to our post Weekend Update stuff. Let's try and speed this up just a touch. Scattering Remains. Okay, this was one where we saw Kyle, Heidi, and James Austin Johnson all as a family together. Andrew and Jerrod were the workers from the funeral home. They end up dumping JJ's body over the into the water, I guess it was, as opposed to the ashes. So interesting concept here. Amanda, what were your thoughts on Scattering Remains?
For some reason, like dead body humor makes me laugh. It's like a very niche thing. Like there's a happy ending jokes where like they go to throw somebody's ashes off the counter and then like it blows back up there and then their faces. And I think about that once a week because it's so disgusting and so funny. And so this like
a red flag. That sounds like a red flag.
All right, let's
give me the flag. I don't care. Go ahead.
Keep going.
Yeah. Anyway,
the most nichiest red flag.
I just think like something about that. It's like weirdly gross and disgusting. Sometimes I text my friend. I'm like, if you ever murder someone, I will not help you because the idea of like taking apart a dead body, gross, yuck. Anyway, so
that's pretty much the sense of it. Yeah,
I sound fun.
I don't think that's a hot take. Yeah, that's like this isn't the cold take show, Amanda.
Oh wow, dead bodies are gross. Wow, you heard it here, folks. You
read those Wikipedia pages of people being like, "I'll help you, brother. I'll help you cut up this body." Like I would never. Like I truly, there is nothing I would ever.
Thank you. Good to know.
Yeah,
we're all safe. Everybody, Amanda's not going to do this.
Policemen, do not come after me because it will never be me.
So what you're saying is basically Amanda Mitchell supports the police 110%. Is that what you're saying?
Whoa, okay. All right.
All cops are the best.
Z-Way energy. Z-Way energy today.
I'm going to sue you for defamation. I don't use capital letters. Capital letters are for cops. Anyway,
let's talk about the actual sketch.
I genuinely loved it. I loved this. I thought it was hilarious. I thought this was perfect for after Weekend Update. Just perfectly weird. Hit that sweet spot of just like be weird. Be weird under the watershed. And yeah, everything was great. I thought Heidi was especially really, really good here. And
cool.
Yeah. And also Dismukes, of course. He's great. Loved it.
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think?
I felt this would have served best as a sort of blackout sketch, because I feel like the biggest joke was them grabbing the entire body and tossing it over the edge, and it never escalated beyond that. Even though there was a couple, they tried to get over that hump, but I felt that was the biggest joke. So in a sense, cut and run from this one as much as you could, and it didn't. So I did get a very hearty chuckle from just tossing the entire body over the cliff, which Amanda will help me with. But beyond that, the laughs were minimal after that, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, thoughts?
All right. So this was the other sketch where I felt like this was like Jerrod like as a host rather than just like as a cast member. This one did make me laugh. If this is one of the ones I would rewatch on YouTube. Also, like, and this is more just because I have a more appreciation of this now because of your Keith Raywood interview. The sets for this looked really cool. The idea of like having like adding in that Dismukes would have to be like hanging or something. Like, I thought that was like from like a set perspective, that was really cool.
Yeah, they did have two sets for this. I would guess. Yeah.
I thought that was really awesome. Like that was, I got focused on that. When he brought out that urn and said that it was soup. Like this for me, this is something, I don't know how you would do it, and I'm playing with imagination a little bit here, but like these casual morticians, it kind of has like Thirsty Cops vibes a little bit. Like, I wonder, does it have reoccurring sketch potential? I don't know how. Like, you'd have to have Dismukes have a different like partner, but there's something about a casual mortician that I was like, this is a little weird. This is a little funny. Like, is there something else you could do with this? Does it have the potential like to come back? And so that's what it made me think about, was like, another family, and these guys are just really off the mark. But I liked this. I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that is an interesting perspective. There definitely is more to play with here in the future. Okay, next one we have is Story. And this is a table where Ego and Jerrod and Kyle and Heidi are all sitting in. Basically, Jerrod is trying to tell a story. Kyle keeps interrupting him, not unlike this podcast. Messes up the story and ends up being overly apologetic. It turns into complete chaos. So, all right. Anybody want to start on this one?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
This one missed me hard. This one felt like a couple moments in this night where it was cast members who had been there for too long that have simply nothing left to give, and this was indicative of a Kyle Mooney, we have nothing left to give sketch. And so I kept like, like I was confused, and it was like, is my confusion part of this? Is my confusion part of the humor? I couldn't even. In the end, it was just like, I've seen Kyle do this role too many times. I had nothing. I was getting nothing out of this. I'm sorry.
Okay, TJ, you got anything out of this?
Did I get anger, like like actually at first, no, you know what, at first I got like just like a reaction of like, all right, this just isn't really hitting for me. And then when I learned about the Angelo thing, I got pissed off, because you mean to tell me that this aired? Didn't we just recently have another Kyle bit that like the influencer, the little masculine influencer thing? By the way, Kyle's been on the show long enough that he knows what he's doing. He's a good performer. I mean, he's a little typecast, but like, he's a good performer and he's very funny. But are you kidding me? This is like, I'm like actually upset, like, that this is what you chose to put on.
I mean, this is what happens when you're there for a decade. They will give you that leeway.
This honestly,
quality or no.
To me, it had the feeling of like, it had like first draft, like, we don't really care energy. Actually, John, I want to know, do you have who wrote this one?
I do. Yes.
That might color my perspective a little bit. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's call some people out.
It was Will Stevens. Okay. Yeah. So
with Kyle.
I assume. Was it with Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm almost more upset by the performances in this one. By the way, Jerrod was fine. There was nothing he did. But there was like, there wasn't anything. Let me end with this. This was a waste of time. This was this was literally a cut for time. Sorry, this was a cut for time sketch. Yeah. And I'm sorry, isn't that Kyle's specialty? Like, dude, what do you like?
All right, let's anyways, Amanda, anything noteworthy on this one? Yeah.
Oh, remember how I said earlier this was very there? That's what I feel about this too. Like this, it was just there. It was people on stage doing jokes. It was not even good jokes. And normally, in my normal life, when I'm not here in my mother's house in Michigan, I'm in New York. And let me tell you this was not funny to me because I've had this literal conversation. Like, and it's not funny in real life. It's like, why are you being weird? And why are you trying to commiserate with me and just like expecting more out of my story because I live in New York? My life is the same. I just live with like a million other people in a small place with too many rats. Like, I don't know. I just,
that's not the same as my life. That's rats.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amanda, you can't have too many rats.
In New York, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can. Like, have you ever heard of a rat king? You absolutely can have.
Oh, yeah. No, those guys are cool.
Don't ever Google it, listeners. Don't Google what a rat king is. I don't know. I just until you mentioned it, I forgot this sketch existed, and I watched this an hour and a half or 97 hours ago when we started this podcast because I'm being held captive by Jon Schneider. So let's
keep going. Let's talk about baby clothes. So this was our last tape.
Jon Schneider silencing black women.
Keep going.
Wow.
All right, TJ, come on. We have.
Come on, TJ.
Why are you go to bed? I'm so tired. Can we move on? I'm so tired.
Let's keep going. We have multiple couples here: Andrew and Chloe, Heidi and Chris, Bowen and Jerrod, talking about baby clothes, and we had the different shirts that were placed on the this was not baby toupees, this was baby clothes, and we had the different shirts all over them saying different lines to make them I guess more woke. I'm not sure how to describe it best, but Andrew, do you want to jump in anything here? Yeah,
man, wow. This was happening, sort of as I was disassembling my setup, because I watch the show from my laptop connected to my TV, and thus I disassemble the whole thing to bring it on over here to record. And so I was watching that last sketch and I was like, what's going on? What's the viewpoint of this? Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I didn't get any laughs. And it felt like a thing, like a pre-tape that they had in their back pocket for like a number of episodes, and they like never found a time to kind of air it. And so whatever, Gunna's last performance was 30 seconds long, whatever. We'll air this instead of a band shot. And oh boy, I don't even know what to make of this. I need to kind of like run, like, of all the things in this episode, I need to rewatch. It is this the most out of anything, because I was like, I feel like this one is taking the wildest swings that I did not expect of the night. And I don't know if it's hitting those or not, but it did kind of remind me of Babies in Makeup from the early 80s, where it was just like, I don't think this is I don't think this is it. Okay. So that was my take. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I need to get set up for this podcast.
Got it. All right, Amanda.
Low-hanging fruit. This is too easy. And also, this sketch doesn't feel new. It doesn't feel like an original concept. Again, Babies in Makeup. Didn't we have lingerie for babies? Wasn't that a thing that we had at some point? Like something of the variation.
Did I completely miss this then?
Maybe I made that up.
I don't know. I mean, Babies in Makeup was like a
yeah.
Guys,
they've done a lot of baby pre-tapes over the years.
A lot of baby pre-tapes. It's just low-hanging fruit. It felt very like, oh, we're gonna try to like tiptoe our water into like the turning red discourse and be like, ooh, LOL, people are freaking out about women having periods. Like it's not fresh or new or original. And I was like, again, of all the things you put in this episode, this sketch that could have been put in 2016 just as easily. Okay. Yeah.
All right, TJ.
I wondered if this, because I know that I missed like the first like 10 seconds of the sketch. I wondered if this sketch was a reaction to the I know there's like discourse. I don't know if it's directly linked to the Don't Say Gay bill, but there's something about people being worried that their babies like will be gay, and so I'm guessing this sketch was a reaction to that and like a reversal of like I think Punky Johnson has like a stand-up bit about it, like, no, if I'm gay and your mom is gay, like my baby's gonna be gay. Like it kind of felt like that type of like premise, like, you know, so that's, but instead it was the straight couples were like diving in way too much on like wanting their kid to be gay, and the gay couples are like, y'all are gonna lose too hard on this. Like it's like when you have like a friend who's like a white ally, but they're going too hard at it. Like it's like it kind of had that energy. So like I could appreciate the point of view, but I think the placement of it for me by that time, by the end of the show, just didn't like hit as well. I feel like if it was maybe like a post monologue pre-tape or maybe like a mid-show pre-tape, I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. But the point of view did make me think, like Andrew said, it might be one I rewatch.
Yeah, that is not a bad tact of satire.
Like if the joke was more satirical like that, I think I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't fully at first glance like so obvious in a way that like almost leaned to offensiveness.
Yeah.
But if I think about it that way, it's like, damn, that's a missed opportunity for them. You know, that on the writing scale.
I agree for sure. Okay, so things that ended up getting cut for time tonight. We talked about Angelo, obviously. I just wondering for that. Hope that ends up online.
I am heartbroken.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, hope that happens. Please Don't Destroy had a pre-tape that was cut for time tonight, so I wonder if that will end up online. That was a pre-tape called Normal Goths, and then we had
that sounds really funny.
A sketch called Jurors as well, which was also cut for time. Okay. So what we're gonna do as we prepare
John,
our...
can I ask you a question?
Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you go ahead, DJ. Yeah.
Well, I just so when you say cut for time, does that mean that like Angelo, it was shot?
So Angelo was a live sketch. So basically the cut for time, if for people who don't know, means that it was set to air live. Then during the show was cut because things went long or for whatever reason. So it's different than cut at dress, which means it was cut before the live show. Those are two different things.
Okay, so all three of those things had been filmed.
All those things were cut for time. Oftentimes, SNL will actually leave extra things in the live rundown.
Yeah, that can't be true. Nothing ran over because there was too much applause tonight. Or whatever.
No, definitely things did run over. But regardless, I mean, like there was intentions of putting some of the stuff in the show. Okay. Well, chat, I'm going to ask you to give your opinion out of 10 for the show. Panel, I'll ask you to do the same thing.
We got to come up with a rating.
come up with a rating as we do. Just want to also say SNL brought it up tonight. Obviously, RIP to Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters. We got that bumper up tonight. Obviously, Taylor Hawkins part of Foo Fighters and one of the most prolific and often seen bands that have been on the show. Taylor Hawkins is like in the top 10 of musical guests, just even by individuals that have been at the show for so many years. So obviously heartbroken for a lot of people who really loved the Foo Fighters. So all right, let's give our ratings at 10. Chad, I'll bring up yours as well. TJ, starting with you.
I would rate this a shit. I mean, shoot. Sorry.
Want me to start with somebody else? You got it.
Yeah, start with somebody else.
All right, Amanda, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. Okay. When it missed, it real missed. It was like, to use a TJ phrase, it was very mid. It was very very mediocre, very average, very beige, very manila folder.
Manila folder. That's
very
good. That's
gray,
really good. I like that. Manila folder. That's great.
Very ecru. Very there. Will I think about this late in 2 weeks? I will 100% no. But am I glad that I sat and witnessed it with my mother? I love the bonding, and that's why I give it the half point extra for the bonding.
Okay, got it. Andrew.
I'm going to give this the most average rating you can give it. It is a 5 out of 10 because, I don't know. Much like Amanda says, nothing about this will really stick with me in the end. And I did not watch this with Ma, but I did get to enjoy it with you guys. So that is an enjoyable night overall. But the episode itself just very disappointingly mediocre when I felt that Jerrod had more to give, for sure. I really wanted more for him. And I feel like the show felt like it needed to comment on something that happened a week ago for half of the episode. And that did not need to happen. Also, we need to give these cast members that have been here a decade a chance to shine, and it did not need to happen. So overall, man, that monologue in that first sketch, I was feeling pretty good.
Okay.
5 out of 10.
TJ, give us your score.
I would give this 4 slaps out of 10 slaps. It was not even mid when I really think of, like, I just wasted potential. I did laugh, but like this for me is like, this is like this is my like this season's Carey Mulligan episode. Like, this is the low point for me.
Okay.
That was also a big missed opportunity episode.
Yeah, Carey Mulligan's fantastic.
Yeah. I sort of agree with the ratings. Maybe I have a little bit a different spin, but I think 5 out of 10 makes sense for me. I would say totally average Jaffro. But I would say that over.
No.
Okay.
No, you were almost home with no.
Almost home. Yes. Anyways, so what I would say, honestly, 5 out of 10, but like, you know me, like I'm gonna feed the positive a little bit. I do think that I really love the monologue. I think Jerrod crushed it out there. I think obviously it's been like a huge week for him, for his career, as somebody who he said was not a well-known, host of the typical nature. I think he did a really great job in that monologue. Obviously, SNL made some decisions tonight, whether production-wise or how they were going to address things like the slap that, some people disagree with. For me personally, I felt like SNL had a duty to do certain things tonight that maybe other people didn't feel. So
it was a duty,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Anyways,
a little too pleased with that.
It's 2:30.
All right, we have a couple of more episodes to look forward to, including Jake Gyllenhaal and Lizzo coming up. So I'm looking forward to those shows for sure. Let's talk about what's coming up here on the SNL Network and what's happened recently.
Shake it.
All right. Let's talk about this. Okay, so in case you missed what has been happening on the SNL Network since the last time you were here with us, if you missed our By the Numbers show, we had Mike Murray and Nicole Rovine on that show. It's always a great show where we can break down the numbers and talk about the data. So if you're really into stats, that's always a great show to do. We had some great arguments and debates about what really counts as certain statistics on the show. It's fun if you want to get a good, if you're a stats guy. So then we also had our catchphrase bracket. This was really fun. I got together with a bunch of the super fans. We went through 35 user-submitted catchphrases from between myself, Haskell, Haynes, Bill, and Sammy, and we ended up picking the ultimate one. Andrew Dick, what's your favorite SNL catchphrase of all time?
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. So we'll have to see if that made the bracket and how well it did. In case you missed that, that was a very fun show. If you like long ass podcasts, check out the SNL catchphrase brackets. Hollywood Dish, obviously lots of slap talk. In case you are looking for any more, the ladies of Hollywood Dish, Nicole Rovine, Rebecca North, and Shelby, our producer of Hollywood Dish, joined them to discuss how SNL was going to address this, what they should have addressed from the Oscars, all stuff like that. They actually talked about some seat filler stuff. So interesting to get that perspective if you'd like to go back. In case you missed this, yesterday, we dropped a special podcast on a Friday. We spoke to the production designer of Saturday Night Live, Keith Raywood. James Stevens and I spoke to him. James put a lot of work getting that Keith interview, so appreciate you, James. And it was just wonderful to get to talk to Keith. He told us some great stories about how he helped design the home base, the Five Timers Club set. I made him a pitch. In case you didn't hear it, I made him a pitch on what props should be in the Five Timers Club set. He said he's going to listen to it and he's going to put it in next time. So that was really fun. Wow. We got to hear about Miley and Pete's New Year's party. Lots of fun stories in this edition of SNL Stories with Keith Raywood. And as for what is coming up this week on the SNL Network, join us on Monday night for a roundtable with 3 different panelists. So in case TJ, Andrew, and Amanda's opinions tonight didn't do it for you, we got more people coming in with their opinions about the Jerrod Carmichael and Gunna episode. We'll dive deeper into all the topics of the week on Monday night. On Wednesday, we're going to be speaking to Linz, one of our patrons on the Patron Feedback Show. Linz is joining us from England, so we'll get to hear what people across the pond thought about this episode of Saturday Night Live. To send in all your questions for the Patron Feedback Show, make sure to do that on Tuesday. We'll have our form up on Twitter as well as in our Instagram stories to send in those questions. Hollywood Dish is back on Thursday. I'm not sure there will be a story as popular as the slap, but there'll sure to be a lot of things to talk about that Nicole and Rebecca will take you through as we get ready for the Jake Gyllenhaal and Camila Cabello episode next Saturday night with the Hot Take crew that we have set up for you on Saturday, April 9th. So it should be a fun week here at the SNL Network. All right. TJ, please tell the listeners where they can reach out to you and what is happening on your podcast.
John, you gotta drink some water, man. Goodness gracious. Bestest promos in the business. I have a 15-ish minute podcast called Rabbit Trail. That's RABID. That's available everywhere. Last week we did an episode talking about our favorite albums, and on Monday we're dropping one just talking about Spider-Man. We did also release a special little bonus April Fool's Day episode, just kind of talking about the silliest of holidays. John has been on it. Nicole's going to be on an upcoming episode. And you can follow us. And I'm, Amanda and I are talking about, maybe having her on. I'm not trying to put no pressure on it and whatnot. But you can follow us at We Are Rabbit Trail. That's RABID on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find me, TJ King Compliment, on Instagram and TikTok.
All right, thank you, TJ. As always, Amanda, always great to talk to you. So, where can the listeners reach out to you?
I've never been this tired in my entire life, and I took 2 naps today. So this is really embarrassing.
2?
That is psychotic.
All you have to do is tell the listeners where to reach out to you, where they can find the work. All right, and
just promote your podcast. You can do this.
I will, but y'all stop interrupting me.
No.
Anyway, so you guys, if you like my stupid voice, you can listen to my other podcast on America's Next Top Model, called America's Next Top Best Friend. That's on Twitter, on Instagram, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to podcasts. I also have a podcast about Top Chef called It's Not Top Chef, it's Top Podcast. And that's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to go follow me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Loch Ness Manda, like the scary Scottish monster on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want one of these canceled Jon Schneider red flags, you can go to www.thejokeisdead.gov/eagadeadport.html.
Hey,
yo.
There we go.
Well done.
Okay. Andrew Dick, can you top that? Where can the listeners
I
reach out to you?
cannot. Somebody asked what record I keep on holding up. It is the Cars. Shake It Up. It is the finest in white
Shake
people
It Up.
music from the 80s. Check that out. As for me, that week in SNL, vintage SNL ramblings. We are just about to put out the Anna Kendrick, Pharrell Williams episode from season 39. That will be next week. And we just, for the patrons, recorded an episode. I think I need to split into two about the very first season of that of In Living Color. It is so long. Yes.
I love that show.
Yes.
I'm rocking with Andrew because Andrew's rocking with us.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
a loved classic for me.
Yeah, so it's nearly 3 hours long. I think I'm gonna need to just splice it into 2 episodes. We had that much to say about In Living Color. So yeah, that week in SNL, check us out talking about vintage sketch comedy.
Well, speaking of 3 hours long, or almost 3 hours long, I really want to thank all of our chat for staying up late with us on this Saturday night. It's really great to get to hear your opinions right away after the show. So I just want to let you know, I do really appreciate you. I look forward to chatting with you for the next couple of weeks. Thank you to TJ, Amanda, and Andrew for joining us on the show tonight. I know they give me a hard time, but I really enjoy getting to talk to them. Whenever
always a pleasure.
We do too. We love doing it, John. It's very fun.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
It's always the best. Yeah, these all the wonderful people we get to talk to at the SNL Network. I just really appreciate all of them. So just want to say thank you all. You can find us at the SNL Network on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave those star ratings and reviews. We always appreciate people who let us know what they think of the show so we can continue to get better and better, especially as we head towards the end of the season. All right. We will see you next time, everybody. Have a good night.